And so I doubt every so-called prophet to begin with, but I always stay open because I know I have seen prophecies that are proven to be accurate, proven to be true. And I know that among us today, there are those having visions and dreams that are from God. Now, sometimes those visions and dreams conflict, so somebody's wrong. Someone is wrong. It could be an honest, sincere mistake from an over fervency that causes people to think they have prophecy from God and don't. I think sometimes it's people trying to interpret their vision or their dream and tell us what it means, and they're interpreting according to what they see going on around them, and their interpretation's wrong. Daniel had visions and dreams that he couldn't interpret on his own. Had he tried, he would have come up with a spurious definition. So God had to come and interpret his dreams for him. So pray that you interpret. So I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. Now, it says in 1 Thessalonians 5:20, despise not prophesying. So the modern Christian who doubts that there are any prophets at all going on is standing diametrically opposed to the words of God. Now, I know, in the charismatic movement, everybody wants to be a prophet, and their prophecies are shallow, like a birthday cake that somebody's baked with icing on it. It's just, it's weak, and it causes us to not trust prophets. But don't let that prevent you from paying attention. You don't have to believe it immediately, but pay attention when someone gives a prophecy. Look at their life, look at their reason for doing it, look at the prophecy, and then hold in abeyance your response and mull it over and let the Spirit of God speak to you about it. Compare it to Scripture. Now, the words there in Acts goes on, and this is a continuing quote of Joel, and I will show wonders in heaven. Now this doesn't happen until the tribulation. Above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. Read the book of Revelation. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. Those are words repeated in the book of Revelation. Before the great and notable day of the Lord come. Now, the day of the Lord is the day of God's judgment, which takes place at the tribulation, the latter half of the 7 years, and the second coming of Christ, and the great white throne judgment that follows 1,000 years later. Before the great and notable, it is notable, day of the Lord come, and it shall come to pass. Now remember, when it says come to pass, shall come to pass, the future tense, is speaking of 500-600 years before Christ. So he's speaking of somewhere in the future of 2600 BC. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. The emphasis here is that whosoever, Jew, Gentile, sinner, saint, whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. This is an announcement that the gospel is going to be available to all people, not exclusive to Jews. So that has come to pass already, that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Now, 2 Timothy 3:1-9. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Now, the last days, perilous times. Do we live in perilous times right now? If you live in Seattle, you probably think so, or Chicago, or in China, or in Russia, or in Venezuela, or Israel, or Jordan, or Syria, or Iraq. You probably feel like you're in perilous times. Perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves. This is what causes the perilous times, is that men shall be lovers of their own selves. Boy, is there a better description of our day and age? Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, that's late night comedians, disobedient to parents. Has there ever been a day and age when the youth could, it could more be said of youth that they're disobedient to parents, unthankful, and that goes across the board, unholy. We live in a day and age when the very concept of being holy is reputed. Without natural affection, that means that God created us to have affection. And the last days will be characterized by people having affection for something unnaturally. Did you know that 1 out of 7 mainline senior pastors confess to being on pornography, to being addicted to it? 1 out of 5 youth directors confess to being on pornography. And 60% of Christian men confess to being on pornography. It's well known outside Christian circles by psychologists, psychiatrists, and social workers that people who do.
about like insecurities, his like
Yeah, and that was oh, dude, just the dynamic of this fucking like energy is the dynamic of the world.
So just
But
seconds.
Yeah.
Just forget East and West. Just picture yourself in the center of the earth. You're a caveman. You don't know shit.
right.
You don't know seen fire in your life. Okay.
Right.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
tell me about conflict with East and West. You're a caveman. Never seen fire.
Yeah.
Don't know North, South, East, and West.
Advance 300 years from now.
No,
some guys come
no,
in
don't
with bows.
advance. Don't advance.
Some
Stay-
guy comes in with a bow. Motherfucker comes in with a bow.
Chris,
What did they do to
Chris,
get
no,
smart, bro? They
no,
caveman too.
No.
How the fuck are these
Dude,
goop ass
stop,
looking
stop.
motherfuckers, yo? They're like
Chris, stop.
They're 5
Dude,
foot tall,
Chris,
dude. They're
Chris,
fucking brown.
Chris,
Like, what?
come back.
And I'm black, yo.
Listen,
Shit.
no, you're not black.
But like, yeah,
No,
what
no.
are they doing?
Listen to me. You're Patrick the Star right now. Your fucking rock is right here.
Right,
That's
right.
all you know.
Right.
You don't know North,
Right.
South, East, and West. You've never seen fire. You've never seen
Right.
anyone in your life. Okay,
Right,
now tell
right.
me, you're a dumb caveman.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a smart 21st century person. I'm asking a dumb caveman.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on North or South and West, North and West
Right.
territory
right.
and problems?
Interesting.
What is
Interesting,
your take on it?
Wow.
You're a caveman. Not just answer me blindly. You're a caveman. There we go. So people,
that's what
people
actually-
that
wow,
don't,
yeah,
people
interesting,
that
yeah.
don't see your view
Yeah.
for the way dude. There's a million different fucking.
We have language.
Dude,
that unites the world.
dude,
bro.
you're
There's a thing
making
called
it
English
way
that
too
everybody
complex.
knows.
Yo.
Dude, you're making it too complex.
What's good, dude? Yo, we're checking out the footage from yesterday. That shit's wild, yo.
Oh, my bad, yo. Honestly, I was bored and figured I'd fucking call you on one.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, man. The live stream was nuts, man.
I bet it was, dude. Like,
Dude, hilarious, yo. I don't know how to like do something with it, but it definitely is like a product, yo. Pretty funny, yo.
just having it there was just like such it helped rise the occasion.
Yeah, it did. And he was definitely a part of that energy into making it something. Yeah, that's very true, yo. I saw Tyler Morris like the fucking RuneScape post already. I was like, damn, that was quick.
So did you go to bed last night?
Yeah, I went to bed for like 2 hours and then, or no, I went to bed after 2 hours after you left. And then woke up, bro, and then fucking, we're here, you know?
Dude, I don't even know if I slept quite honestly. I don't know if I just laid with my eyes closed.
lot to reflect upon.
I haven't been with the right type of person, but I always had the same intentions. I need to bring those intentions to the right type of woman I want to find. But my capacity to care deeply always has led to creating situations around bad people looking for good situations. I know now the right girl and people I want to surround myself around, and my inner intuition is something I feel is true. Remember to always
Fucking go, yo. We're gonna get the fucking 99 fucking yo shit.
Did you just get it?
No, hell no. We about to get this
Yo,
shit
look
right
at your
now.
low money stack.
Oh.
68 mil?
Oh, no. Let's get it. Oh, 92. Okay, one more fucking fudge, yo. Let's fucking get it, yo. 2 more fudges, yo. We can fucking see. Fucking A, yo. We had to look up where the fletching cape at. Alright.
Is this real life, dude? Like, am I
Hey,
like,
get ready in game, motherfuckers, yo. This shit about to be crazy, yo. We about to fucking send it, yo.
I believe
Oh. Yo, no, fuck you.
consciousness, I guess.
Well, you think so? You think so?
I feel
don't
like
think
we
so.
align
I don't think so yet.
No?
I don't think so yet.
I think we just differ in our upbringing, I guess.
Holy fuck, dude. Yeah, that's wild.
Not that like we grew up like a couple houses down, but just from environment and where you went and where I went.
Is this real? Is this real? How come I can't make it not real?
Why does it not seem real?
It seems real. That's the problem.
Why
It's
do you
real.
not want it to be real? No.
No. I really don't.
Real in like what way that you don't want to be? Like
I really don't want you to have to go through that. Like,
Oh.
Like without like the family stuff and
Oh.
without the like.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, it shaped me to who I was, though.
They forced though.
The force shaped me, yeah.
That's the thing though. Really, it's a force. So are you forcing me because I also don't know my mom? And how
It's a
like,
force in each other.
It literally
It's a
is
similar
connecting
energy.
thing, yeah.
It is for sure, man. On the deepest of levels, for sure, man. Definitely.
What does that mean? What does that do with anything?
It bonds us in ways that we conceptualize that make us feel comfortable with each other.
Well, right.
Or it can be bonds of pain, that stuff that we just haven't really wanted to. I mean,
It's just a bond. It's just a weird connection that goes unexplained.
But I go to work too.
This is really wild.
And he brought it up, and it's like, fuck yeah. I should probably at least try to sleep for a couple hours.
Right. Holy fuck, yeah.
I mean, I think I probably should. But I also smoke this.
I don't know, dude. Marcus, dude, we can do some shit, bro. Literally, dude, come to India with me. Yo, literally, it's church balls every day, bro.
I know.
No, you don't know, man.
Build that foundation.
What do you mean, dude? Is this even real life still, bro? Marcus, yo. Yo, Marcus, should I view another person as like an actual another person? Alright. What is it?
until you really know a person. Then you can look at their soul, look at them, I guess, with a more spiritual or intense type of view.
Maybe, yeah. Holy fuck.
Dude, you wanna,
That's
while you and Jake were making music, you wanna read, or you wanna listen to some of the shit I was writing down?
hell yeah. What was it?
My inner conflict of life comes out so clear now in even my most personal relationships in my life. I've got Chris, who's the ultimate live life on the edge kind of spirit of the moment type of person. And then you've got Randy, who is a dad, wants to create a family, a home, a foundation. Not saying you don't, but
Right.
not in this context, I guess. And then I said, maybe my sacrifice is finally choosing a path of living, committing to achieving one goal over the other. I want to find a woman, build a foundation, start a family, but I also want to travel, move around, do different experiences, find my spirituality, find my purpose in life. Maybe I need to prioritize one over the other. I live my life on the ultimate cusp of these two kind of extremes, watching both paths almost as an observer, seeing how each play out like an experiment, so I can choose which path is what ultimately I should do. But I'm pursuing both at the same time, in ultimate belief of faith, and then I say ultimately too many times, but ultimately blaming one on the other or vice versa. I always expect to just know when I find everything I dream of, because I believe one attracts the other. But in all of my experiences, love has always killed my individualism. I obviously haven't been with the right type of person, but I always had the same intentions. I need to bring those intentions to the right type of woman I want to find. But my capacity to care deeply always has led to creating situations around bad people looking for good situations. I know now the right girl and people I want to surround myself around, and my inner intuition is something I feel is true. Remember to always take that into effect. I need to take good parts of each of my friends. They teach me every day in their choices and learn from my future perspective. That's what I was thinking about when you guys were making music.
No way.
And a lot more, but that's just what I wrote down. Yeah, you and Randy, I ultimately live on the cusp of each of your lives. I feel like I'm just in, like...
Is this real life, dude? Like, am I, like, literally, like, fucking, like, do you know how to conceptualize it like I do?
I believe we have, like, a common connection in, like, consciousness, I guess.
Well, you think so?
I feel like we
I
align
don't think so yet.
No?
I don't think so yet.
I think we just differ in our upbringing, I guess.
Holy fuck, dude. Yeah, that's wild.
Not that, like, we grew up, like, a couple houses down, but just from environment and where you went and where I went.
Is this real? How come I can't make it not real?
Why does it not seem real?
It seems real. That's the problem.
Why
It's
do you
real.
not want it to be real? No.
No. I really don't.
Real in, like, what way that you don't want to be? Like...
I really don't want you to have to go through that. Like, without like the family stuff and without the like.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I really don't.
Real in, like, what way that you don't want to be? Like...
I really don't want you to have to go through that. Like, without like the family stuff and without the like.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it shaped me to what I was, though.
It's forced though. Yeah,
force shaping, yeah.
Huh. That's the thing though. Really? Really? It's a force? So are you forcing me because I also don't know my love? And how
It's a
like,
force in each other.
literally is it literally
It's a
is
similar
connecting
energy.
thing, yeah.
It is for sure, man. On the deepest of levels, for sure, man. Definitely.
What does that mean? What does that do with anything?
It bonds us in ways that we conceptualize, that make us feel comfortable with each other.
Well, right.
Or it can be bonds of pain, that stuff that we just haven't really wanted to. I mean,
It's
I
just a
have,
bond. It's just a weird connection that goes unexplained.
but it's explained spiritually somehow. I don't know.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, yeah, if you want to get into like a crazy talk, you can like, if you think this is a crazy talk, but like our paths definitely cross for a reason. It's just, you
I
know,
think it ignited from me actually initiating it, and that's like the inner God, like the higher, like this guy Carl Jung
definitely
says like
saved you.
sixth consciousness.
You definitely like saved you for sure.
Right.
Out of my
Interesting.
turmoil. And I guess that's why I'm always trying to help you now, because one,
That's interesting.
I do feel a little bit of a debt to you.
There's a role that I'm not even feeling filled. I want to just fucking blast off, bro. But yo, that's actually nuts, yo, because like I need that. One reason, but like you're fucking ripping it deep, bro. And we're talking like you were deep when I met you, but like fucking I was deep too, yo.
I never knew the deepness was inside of you, honestly.
So here's the thing is, man, like I think like we're really ingrained in like who we are, and like there's like a deep root like that like became you and me in a lot of things. And I'm just like these deep roots, and you're just these roots, you know, you're just fucking working around, yo.
I know we created these roots. It's just, yeah, I always feel like it's time to do something with it.
Yeah, that's actually nuts, yo. Holy fuck.
But like, it always comes to a fact of like picking a path. And it doesn't like.
How do you pick a path though with excellence and absolute fucking trying of like energy?
Like for me to go to India with you would mean to be totally like putting all my faith into you.
Yeah.
And that's always what stops me, because as much as I love you, brother, like you also scare me too.
No, dude, you gotta send it. And
I know.
You just tag there.
I know you do. I know.
No,
And I do feel guilt towards it.
Do I have to buy your ticket, you motherfucker? Do I have to buy you your ticket, dude?
Fuck, man. I'm just like, it's just, yeah, fear that only holds me back. And that.
Do I really have to buy you your ticket?
I mean, I don't want you to do that, man.
And fucking like, and like you're gonna bail out last minute, like.
I mean, fuck, dude, it's like a major life decision, you know? I've created like a mini foundation that I don't know what I want to do with it yet. And I haven't reaped the benefits of it yet because of many bad decisions in my life. And I'm starting to a little bit. So it's like, I'm on the cusp of something, man. I really feel it. I'm on the cusp of like figuring my shit out a little bit. Like, in this sitting of the garage, I really need to move out. It's that time. Like,
Wow,
I need to find a place on my own. It's that I gotta get that.
Well, that's because, yeah. I don't know, man. There's
I
a
need
lot
to
of
make-
elements that you can really close.
I need to like stop holding myself back in my comforts.
Right.
I need to sacrifice my comfort in the now for my fucking benefit in the future.
Right, yeah, yeah. That'd be nice, yeah.
research that such empathic understanding with a person, not about him, is such an effective approach that it can bring about major changes in personality. Some of you may be feeling that you listen well to people and that you have never seen such results. The chances are very great indeed that your listening has not been of the type I have described. Fortunately, I can suggest a little laboratory experiment which you can try to test the quality of your understanding. Okay, so this is lovely, because you don't often actually get a technique from a therapist that actually works, you know. You get sort of vague techniques, like help the person lay the cards out on the table, you know. It's kind of at a high level of abstraction. But this exercise you can actually do, and you can do it a lot, and if you do it, it will teach you to listen. So, the next time you get into an argument with your wife or your friends, or with a small group of friends, stop the discussion for a moment and for an experiment institute this rule. While you also don't have to be that formal about it, you can just do it once you know the game. Each person can speak up for himself only after he has first restated the ideas and feelings of the previous speaker accurately and to that speaker's satisfaction. Now that's so cool, because here's the typical argument. So we're arguing, I want to win, and so you tell me a bunch of things, and so then I take those things and I turn them into the stupidest possible representation of those things. You know, I weaken your argument and make you look like a fool, and then I destroy it. And that's a straw, that's by that, you're making your opponent into a straw man. That's the straw man argument, right? You take what they're telling you and you caricature it, and that way you can make them look absurd and make them be ashamed, and then, of course, you've set up this skinny little opponent that you can just demolish with one punch. It's really crooked, and it shows that you're a coward, because what it means is you have to have an opponent that's, you know, crippled and thin and starving and inarticulate before you could possibly win, before you could possibly progress. It's a pathetic way of having an argument. What you should do is listen to the person and help them make their argument as strong as you possibly can, and then deal with that, because then you're sure that you're taking them seriously. So, and to that speaker's satisfaction. Well, that's so cool, eh? So we're having an argument. I don't know, maybe we have an argument about who's going to be responsible for grocery shopping or for doing the dishes or for cooking or any of those domestic things that continually cause couples to be at each other's throat. It's like, so you'll have some arguments about why you should do whatever it is that you're going to do. And in order for the argument to progress, I have to tell you back what you said. And you have to agree that I put it properly. Well, that's so annoying. Like, it just runs so contrary to what you want to do. Of course, you want to make the other person sound stupid so you can beat them. This way, you can't do that, because you have to listen well enough so you actually understood what they said. And then you have to formulate their argument so that they're willing to agree that that actually constitutes their argument. Well, that's really, it's difficult. But it's so useful, because first of all, it does mean that you understood them. We know from our research that such empathic understanding with a person, not about him, is such an effective approach that it can bring about major changes in personality. Some of you may be feeling that you listen well to people, and that you have never seen such results. The chances are very great indeed that your listening has not been of the type I have described. Fortunately, I can suggest a little laboratory experiment which you can try to test the quality of your understanding. Okay, so this is lovely, because you don't often actually get a technique from a therapist that actually works, you know. You get sort of vague techniques, like help the person lay the cards out on the table, you know. It's kind of at a high level of abstraction. But this exercise you can actually do, and you can do it a lot, and if you do it, it will teach you to listen. So, the next time you get into an argument with your wife or your friends, or with a small group of friends, stop the discussion for a moment and for an experiment institute this rule. While you also don't have to be that formal about it, you can just do it once you know the game. Each person can speak up for himself only after he has first restated the ideas and feelings of the previous speaker accurately and to that speaker's satisfaction. Now that's so cool because here's the typical argument. So we're arguing, I want to win, and so you tell me a bunch of things. And
Take the safe grass. 3, 2, 1, go. Open. No. What the? Who did that? What was that? I hate you guys so much. I hate you all. Go. Take the safe grass seats. Those are good. 3, 2, 1, go. Do this with the red rocks here because I'm better. Oh, yep, there you go. Right there. Oh my gosh, no way. No fucking way. Yeah. I just died. I just died. Oh my gosh. Oh my. I can't fucking believe it. Just, oh. Oh my. Do this with the red rocks here. Why do you act like Oda? Being hyped for subs is not acting like Oda. If you want to act like Oda, you gotta this. Are you serious? Oh my god. 54 months.
Wow, holy fuck. So we got this thing called microbiota. Found microbiota are ecological communities of commensal, symbiotic, and pathogenic microorganisms. Found in all multicellular organisms studied from plants to animals. The study today from plants to animals includes bacteria, archaea, protists, fungi, and viruses. We finished the task. Let's fucking send it back. Microorganisms. So the synonymous term microbiome describes either the collective genomes of the microorganisms that reside in an environmental niche or the microorganisms themselves. The microbiome and host emerged during evolution as a synergistic unit from epigenetics and genetic characteristics, sometimes collectively referred to as a holobiome. What is a holobiome? Holobiome is an assemblage of a host and many other species living on or in or around it, which together form a discrete ecological unit. Humans and wasps. What? Blue dragons. All right, we're going to the Grand Exchange. All right, so.
helping members catch up by spreading any missed USAA insurance payments over the next 12 months so they can keep more cash in their pockets for when it matters most. Find out more at USAA.com.
Microbes are everywhere. On your phone, in your water bottle, on your hands after you wash them, and literally everywhere else on top of you too. Microbes are omnipresent at any moment, and there is nothing we can do about it. So millions of years ago, we made a pact. We give them shelter and food, and in turn, they work for us. But the more we learn about this partnership, the more it looks like a Cold War. Inside our mother's womb, humans start out sterile. When we're born and traveling through the birth canal, billions of our mother's bacteria cover every single part of our bodies. This is an essential part of human health. Children born via C-section have a higher rate of asthma, immune diseases, and even leukemia. So our bodies do not only accept the invasion of microorganisms, they welcome it. Over millions of years, we co-evolved to make the best of our relationship. Mother's milk, for example, contains special sugars that are meant to feed and support certain groups of microbes, work as a decoy for others, and help to modulate the immune system. It takes up to 2 years until a healthy microbe community has formed. Every human has their own unique microbiome made up of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other organisms. We have 3 categories of guests on and in our bodies. 1, quiet passengers that do their own thing and are politely ignored. By being there, they take up space and keep more aggressive intruders in check. 2, guests that harm us but with whom we've learned to live. For example, bacteria that literally create acid that melts our teeth if we don't brush enough. They want to... 2, guests that harm us but with whom we've learned to live. For example, bacteria that literally create acid that melts our teeth if we don't brush enough. They want to take up as much space as they can, and we don't want them to. But we can't get rid of them entirely. 3, friendly fellows that our bodies want to have around. Most of them are a community of 380,000 billion bacteria from up to 5,000 different species that live in our gut. These gut microorganisms help us digest food and pull additional calories from things we can't digest ourselves. Unfortunately, our gut is also the perfect point of attack for intruders, so it's guarded by an aggressive army, our immune system. To survive here, our microbiome co-evolved with us to be able to communicate with our body. The most important part of that is to ask the immune system to not kill them. But they also have a real motivation to keep our gut healthy, so some of them produce messenger substances that help to educate the immune system, and others stimulate the gut cells to regenerate faster. But over the last few years, evidence has emerged that the influence of our gut microbiome goes much, much further. It might even talk directly to our brain. We've observed a few curious things. 90% of our body's serotonin, an important messenger substance for nerve cells, is produced in the gut. Some scientists think the microbiome does this to communicate with the vagus nerve, the information highway of our nervous system. Other examples are bacteria that stimulate immune cells in the gut, so they send a kind of alarm signal to the brain. Here it activates immune cells that help the brain recover from injuries. Since the brain decides when we eat, the microbiome is interested in a healthy brain. A new field of science is opening up here, and we're just on the verge of understanding how these complex systems inside our bodies interact. But we are starting to see how much our microbiome actually influences us and our behavior. Take depression, for example. Healthy rats fed microbes from the guts of depressed people began showing anxiety-like behavior and symptoms that look like depression. And in early 2017, a study linked the microbiome to intelligence by connecting us showing anxiety-like behavior and symptoms that look like depression. And in early 2017, a study linked the microbiome to intelligence by connecting a certain setup of bacteria in newborns with better motor and language skills. But it might also influence our daily lives. tests with fruit flies showed that their microbiome influenced what kinds of food they craved. This could mean your microbes are able to tell your brain which food it should get them, although this is not a one-way street. The seed for our microbiome comes from our mother, but how it develops and changes is determined by what we eat. The organisms in our gut feed on different things. Some like fibers and leafy greens, others go for sugars and starches, and some love greasy fries and butter. Our gut is like a garden in which we constantly decide what will grow and blossom. If we eat healthily, we breed bacteria that like healthy food. If we eat a lot of fast food, then we breed fast food-loving bacteria. Life is hard, so we can get trapped in a vicious circle. You have a stressful time and eat lots of burgers and fries and pizza. This is awesome for fast food bacteria. They multiply and take up space from vegetable-loving bacteria. But even worse, they send signals to the brain to continue what it's doing, and so on. This kind of self-reinforcing cycle could play a huge role in obesity. But it's important to stress that you can fight this process and reverse it by eating healthily and breeding more good bacteria. Beyond weight gain, our microbiome has also been linked to other serious diseases like autism, schizophrenia, and cancer. One of the earliest symptoms of Parkinson's is actually gut problems. If your body is overrun with bacteria that harm you, there is often only one solution. You bring in an army of good guys. That's very easy. You just transplant some healthy poop. You do that by literally transferring poop from a healthy person into your gut. This method is already used to cure diarrhea that's caused when C. difficile bacteria take over a gut microbiome. But we just don't know enough about the complex interplay at work here yet. For example, a transplant from an overweight donor cured a woman's diarrhea, but contributed to her obesity down the line. This caused some waves, and another study tried to reverse the effect. Poop transplants from slim people to obese ones gave them a more diverse microbiome and made them less sensitive to insulin, both things that also happen when people lose weight. We need to do a lot more science to really understand how our microbes make us healthy or sick. But whether we like it or not, we need our microbiome and it needs us. We'll never have our bodies to ourselves, but we have gained a powerful ally, if we can just keep the peace.
Boost Mobile's new upgraded network isn't just fast, it's fast. Curtis, how do you spell EU? Get Boost Mobile Shrink It Plan and watch your bill shrink to $35 per month after just 6 on-time payments. Plus, get a free Samsung Galaxy A11 when you switch.
Consciousness is perhaps the biggest riddle in nature. Stripped to its core meaning, consciousness is what allows us to be aware both of our surroundings and of our own inner state. But thinking about consciousness has this habit of taking us round in circles. We all intuitively know what consciousness is. It's this. It's what you're experiencing here, right now. But once we try to pinpoint just what exactly it is, it leaves us grasping at thin air. And not just us. Philosophers and scientists struggle to define consciousness. Different schools and ideas compete with one another, but no one has come close to figuring it out. It's unsettling to realize that we don't understand what makes us aware of ourselves and the world. In this fuzzy area, consciousness and intelligence are also related, although they are not the same. We'll talk in greater depth about theories of consciousness and intelligence in other videos. Like much of what makes us human, our consciousness is likely to have evolved from less complex forms as a product of evolution by natural selection. It has probably emerged from...
Hell yeah, I'm about to go eat dinner.